Hi everyone, it's Erin and Rudy. It's Tuesday, June 1st now, or May 30th?
I think it could be May 31st.
May 31st, that's right.
I'll have to go look.
That's right.
Any event, one of the concepts in Ayn Rand, I always said Anne, but it's Ayn Rand book, Atlas Shrugged, or there's another book she wrote, Fountainhead, I believe. But it talks about participating in the process of your own destruction and how stupid that is. And a lot of times, Americans are forced to pay for their own destruction. We pay taxes, and taxes are used to destroy our children with abortion at Planned Parenthood. A lot of our taxes go towards things that destroy our society, hurt us, right? And, limit our freedoms, limit our liberty, and go about building up tyrannical government. So a lot of times Americans do participate in paying for our own destruction. However, Erin and I, because we're involved in so many different political prisoners, and we see instances that, if you just saw one instance, you would think, oh, that's such a shame, that one little incident. But we've seen repeated incidents that there's a pattern going on here. And the enemy is not so stupid as to pay money out to people who are working to destroy them. When I say destroy them, I mean from an information perspective. If you're engaged in information warfare to bring about a reproof or exposing the corruption of the system, whether it be the judicial system, law enforcement, government, Congress, prison industrial complex, secret CMU prisons by the Counterterrorism Unit or the Joint Terrorism Task Force, Federal Bureau of Investigations, Department of Justice, the list goes on and on and on. And you start to get popular as you're doing that, right? And you start to make a lot of money so that you can get more successful and more successful. Something will happen to you such that you either will be thrown in prison or you will lose your ability to make any money from that activity, and they'll just simply say that you don't qualify anymore for making financial benefits from your work to expose the system. My wife just told me about something that happened today, and do you want to tell everybody?
Yeah, but or they'll shoot you like they did with Jeffrey Winehouse and the Bulletin Man.
They'll just shoot you in the head with a .40 caliber hollow point at 3 feet away, and like they did Jeffrey Winehouse, who was putting out his own bulletins outside of YouTube and Facebook. He was just, printing up his own bulletins and distributing them on his own. But my wife learned something today, and this is a pattern. So you got Jeffrey Winehouse, who they just tried to shoot. The Lord protected him. Bullets were bouncing off his head. But, babe, if you'll tell him what you just recently learned about our friend Sheila Zilinsky, the Weekend Vigilante, and what YouTube has recently done to her channel.
It says, YouTube sent me a response today stating, "Thank you for submitting a dispute resolution. After a careful review, it has been determined that your channel subjects violate our content policy specifications, namely contents containing controversial or sensitive subjects and events, including subjects related to war, political conflicts, natural disasters, and tragedies, and therefore are not eligible for monetization."
Well, how can that happen? Because all of the topics that they just read off, Next News Network,
everybody covers the same topics.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. I think it's because she's such a powerful prayer warrior in the spiritual realm, too.
That's absurd that they won't let Sheila Zilinsky monetize her YouTube channel. It's absolutely horrific, actually. And it goes to show you how unlevel the playing field is. Let me give you some more examples besides just the Sheila Zilinsky YouTube channel example. Pete Santilli had a Facebook page, if I'm not mistaken, my wife tells me it had 124...
No, I think it might have been 233,000.
Wow. 233,000 likes. I don't even know what a like is. I guess it's the same thing.
A million people reached every single day.
Yeah, so Pete Santilli with Guerrilla Media Network on his Facebook page. My wife was helping administer that. I remember her waking up one morning and she was doing, she was really into, administering that page and helping, Pete Santilli and Deb Jordan and whoever else is involved in that sort of thing. And then she was horrified to find out that Facebook shut down the whole page. And there's no appeal process.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was 9 million people a day during the Bundy Ranch and Malheur standoff.
Yeah, 9 million people a day that were reaching. That's bigger than some news stations in fairly big-sized cities, right? And so my understanding is they shut down Pete Santilli's Facebook page. It's never going to come back on again. There's nobody to appeal it. It's just gone. And they've wiped out a page that was being used to expose the corruption in the system. So Pete is another one example. Let's not forget Bryce Matthew Quellar. Bryce Matthew Quellar had a very popular YouTube channel, maybe one of the most popular YouTube channels that was exposing the Illuminati, and that was Fisher of Men. He's now back in prison. They have been successful at putting him back in jail. We're trying to communicate with him. It's been very difficult. But he had a YouTube channel that got 125 million views. Put out all kinds of good pieces on the transvestite, what's her name, Michelle Obama. He exposed Disney Illuminati. He was exposing the birth certificate issue. Just a whole range of topics. Very talented young man. We think of him like a son. We love him to death. We're trying to communicate with him and make sure he's being treated okay. But nonetheless, they took down his channel. They did not take down his channel, but they threw him in prison. So he's not going to be creating any more content, right? So you got Sheila Zielinski, Pete Santilli, Bryce Matthew Quellar has been put in prison. Jeffrey Winehouse was shot in the head. He's no longer producing his bulletins. And then, of course, Blaine Cooper has a Facebook page, and he was pretty dang popular, too. And my wife tells me they just, out of the blue, for no reason, on an old video, we were putting out videos with his phone calls from prison. It was going to be, help, garner his cause and expose what's going on in his case. And my wife tells me, and you may say it better than I do, but they blocked his personal page or something?
Yeah, for 30 days, and wondered specifically why, and they won't say.
So we've just, I wanted to document this in a video because when you hear just one thing, one time, like, oh, well, they won't allow Sheila to monetize her YouTube channel. Isn't that a shame? Oh, well, at least we've got other channels. No. This is a pattern of activity. And if you just saw like one case of this happening, you think, well, that's a one-off. But no, there's a pattern going on. It's just like there's a pattern with political prisoners. You not only have Schaefer Cox, but you have Skylar Barbeau, you have Russell Landers, you have Jeffrey Winehouse, you have, Bryce Matthew Quellar.
Yeah, and Press for Truth, Dan Dix is a fantastic Canadian reporter, and he's getting blocked for monetizing his channel. And, of course, Luke Rudowski, who founded We Are Change, which is a worldwide organization who does some of the best reporting in the whole world, he got demonetized on his channels, too. And those are two of the most wonderful Christian reporters that I know.
So here's the bottom line from my perspective. We're at war, and if you can't recognize that, I'm sorry that you're so naive. I really don't have the time or the inclination to bring you up to speed. There is an absolute war going on. It's a spiritual war, but it's even beyond a spiritual war. People are being killed. Lavoy Finicum was killed. Jeffrey Winehouse shot in the head. Families are being destroyed.
It's not just a Pokemon war.
Yeah, this is real consequences. Real families are being destroyed. Children are being ripped away from their parents. And so think of it as a war.
And Jerry DeLamus today got 87 months for going and standing beside the Bundys. He never hurt anybody. And the prosecution recommended 15 months less, but the judge was so rude, she gave him an extra 15 months to make it an 87-month sentence, and she's trying to tell him who in his family he can't even see it when he gets out of there.
Yeah, for the judge to say what she said in his case and in his sentencing, and then to give him more time than the prosecution asked.
Yeah, she said he was a bully and a tyrant, and she's supposed to be
impartial. And it's very similar. And let's say, well, that's just a one-off in what's his name again?
Jerry DeLamus.
Jerry DeLamus case. No. We have a situation with Ken Hovind where the judge in his sentencing phase called him worse than a rapist. 8 people signed an affidavit that they said they heard her say that, and yet it was never on the trial transcripts, which is a felony to mess with the trial transcripts and the government court records. Here's the deal I want to make, and I know we've made this a fairly long video. We're at war, right? We're at war. The enemy is trying to imprison anybody that rises up and exposes the system in a professional way, and you need to make a decision in your heart who you're going to side with. Okay, and there's real consequences. You may get shot. You may get thrown in the lion's den like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You may have your family turn against you. But ultimately, you need to decide where your heart lies, and if you're going to side with these tyrants or you're going to side with the kingdom of God. And just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, my wife have made that decision, and we believe the Lord will protect us. We believe the Lord will deliver us, and we're going to walk in victory. We're not walking around as cowards. If anybody needs to hide in this country, it's the other side, because we serve a mighty living God. But even, just as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, even if our Lord decides to let us come home, we ain't bowing down to them. Even if they kill us, we're not bowing down to them. And so let's figure out other ways to finance this war. The Google, YouTube, Facebook, all these other systems that they own, they're not going to allow any successful efforts on those systems if you don't play their game. They will shut you down, or they will try to kill you, or they will just simply reject your financial monetization. So that's all I got to say for today. I hope you realize that it is a war. I hope you realize that it is a pattern. And once you realize that it's a pattern, if you're at war, you learn how to play the war, you learn how to fight the war, and you get good at it, and you continue to fight until your last breath. Anything you want to say, babe?
I wonder if it's time to hang our flag upside down. Where were the veterans today for Jerry DeLamus in court?
I think it was time to hang the flag upside down a long time ago. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.